Thank you for joining us. It's been so fun connecting with people all over the world. We had someone sign up this morning from Wales. She purchased, or she didn't purchase, she downloaded the PDF and she's gonna stitch with us from Wales. So that's super exciting. And we've got someone from Canada who's here today, and all over the States. It's awesome. Great. Okay, here's the jar. So yesterday we did the running stitch, and we knew that, but today it's, who knows what it's gonna be. So exciting. Oh, this one wants out. Let's see what it is. Chain stitch and reverse chain. Cool. Okay. All right. I am going to switch my camera to my first person setup. So hold on. Okay. And I'm going to plug my phone in just in case. Yeah, Tia, we can't wait for you to get your kit. Thanks for joining us anyway. It's awesome. Cool. Great. All right. So, we've got the chain stitch. All right. Okay. So, like I said yesterday, we are going to do all of our videos in the following format. We'll announce the stitch, and then we will talk about some design tips that are specific to our bingo board, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll demo it, and then I will work it on our card. We're playing too, but if we win, we won't take the prize. And then I'll just stitch that up, and then you guys can either hang around now if you want to hang out with me while I stitch, or if you know the chain stitch, you can just take off. So, so for the chain stitch, you can, just like the running stitch, you can follow the grid in the background, or you can follow the lines of the design. It just depends on where your chain stitch is located. So ours is located right here. And so we've got like a nice line here, but we also have some pre-printed guidelines on there. If you would like to use those, you're welcome to. And but you don't have to. You can stitch right over them. So it's like we said yesterday, there's so much flexibility built into this, and we intended it to be that way. So you guys do whatever you want. We're going to show you two ways of doing the chain stitch today. One is the sort of traditional chain stitch, and then one is called the reverse chain, or that's what we call it. I actually don't know if that's the true name of it, but we call it the reverse chain. I think it is the real name. And please check your lighting. It's a little dark. I don't know. I have all my lights on. Is that better if I hold it down lower? Is that any better, Roddy? Okay, well, I don't know what else about the lighting. I can't change anything, so, okay. All right, good. I'll just hold it lower. I can't remember. Oh, yes, so the reverse chain is worked kind of, well, in the reverse, backwards. So we start with a single detached chain and then just loop through the end of it. But I'll show you that. So we'll start here. Let's see. I'm going to use, let's see. I'm going to use 3 threads today. And since I'm going to be using purple and green later, I think I'll stitch in yellow. Okay, so 3 threads. You can use however many threads you want, or however many strands you want. It just, the number of strands that you use determines, how thick your line will be. So if you're looking for a more delicate line, then you want to use less. If you're looking for a more bold line, then you'll want to use more. So, okay. All right. So again, you can draw a line to follow if you want, or you can just stitch without it. I'll draw a line today. So this is my favorite pen to use for embroidery, which is the Friction Fine Liner. Any of the Friction pens are great. Some of you purchased one of the Friction markers. The Friction markers are a great choice. I love this fine liner. The only thing about the fine liner is you can't leave the cap off. If you leave the cap off, that does dry up pretty quickly. It's one thing I don't like about it. But I really like the line it draws. So the friction pens are good too. Ballpoint pens are good too. But I find that they don't write on the fabric quite as well. Let's see. I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna go like this. Okay. So I've got my needle threaded and my knot tied. And so I'm going to come up for my first stitch. I'm going to come up from the back, and then you kind of use your thumb. So if you're left-handed, you can do the opposite of what I'm doing. So you're going to hold this thread up and out of the way with your thumb. And then you're going to go back in right next to where you came up. And now you've got this loop. So don't let the loop close. And then come up however long you want your stitch length to be. So I'm going to do it about that long. But you can make them shorter, you can make them longer. It just depends on the look you're going for. So today I'm just going to do that. And then you pull, and then your loop will close, and then you've got your first little chain. Okay. And now to do the second one, you're going to put your needle back in right next to where you came out before, or where you were there under your, like this. You can see that. And then that's going to make another loop. Like right next to it. I mean, you could probably even go in the same hole. But if you leave a space, if you leave a gap, then you'll see it. You could do that if you wanted that to be the look. But I try to go in like pretty much right next to it. And then you pull it up again. So this is the poke and pull method of doing this. So I'm going to go back in inside that loop. Look at me, I'm going to get stuck on there again. And hold it. And then come up. Kind of clumsy today, sorry. I take that sorry back. One thing I'm working on is saying sorry less, so I take it back. All right, so now I'm going to show you the sewing method, which is what I prefer to do, like I said yesterday. So for the sewing method on the chain stitch, you're still going to use your thumb to keep that out of the way. You're going to go back in right next to where you came out, but instead of pushing your needle all the way through, you're going to push it up on the back, rock it up like that. And now one thing I really like about the sewing method with the chain is that now I can test it, and I can test to see if I like how it looks. If I like the size, if I got the size right, and that looks fine. So now I'm going to pull this straight through, and then I've got my chain. So the width of the little chain stitch here is determined by how hard you pull the thread. And so we're not actually sewing the fabric, right? We're not attaching this fabric to anything else. That's right, Liz. Yes, don't be sorry. We're not attaching this. We're not using this as like a functional stitch. I'm literally just drawing with this. So it can just lay on top of the fabric. So I'm keeping it intentionally loose here so that you can see the chain. Okay. So then you just keep working. And you can either do the poke and pull method or you can do this sewing method. It's just depends on, what you're most comfortable with. Maybe start with the poke and pull until you understand the anatomy of the stitch, and then once you figure that out, then move on to the sewing method. So I'll talk through it one more time. Okay? So after you've made your first chain, you're going to put your needle in right next to where you came out, or right on that. If you go back in the same hole, might not work so well, but you just have to go right there. And then with your finger on the back, rock up a little bit. And then make sure that that working thread is going behind your needle. And pull it up. And then if you want to do the poke and pull method, you're going to go all the way in. Don't let that close. Don't let that loop close. Put your needle up. There we go. Okay. And after I finish this last stitch, I'll show you the reverse chain. Okay. Now I'm going to draw another line. Go this way. Okay. So for the reverse chain, we're going to be working from the top. This stitch can be worked in any direction. I personally like to work either away from myself or towards myself, but I mean, you could work side to side, left to right, or right to left. It doesn't matter. It just kind of like change and check it out and see what works for you. Liz says, I love the chain or reverse chain, and top fave list for sure. I agree. It's also really neat to do it like you can fill areas with it. That's really cool. I like that. Okay. All right. So to do the reverse chain, you are going to just first make a detached chain. And so a detached chain is just one of these chains by itself. So over here, I'm just going to make one detached chain, and it's slightly different than a regular chain, and in just one way, and I'll show you. So, am I going backwards? Yes. Wait a second. Hold on, guys. I'm spatially challenged today. Yes, I'm going backwards. Okay. I'm just going to keep going this way. Okay. So I have my, thank you, Bonnie. I have my detached chain here, which I made by making a chain, and then instead of continuing on, I just closed it up at the end with a little tiny tacking stitch. So I've made it here, and then just go right over that thread. Like that. Okay? All right. So now what you do is, first of all, you realize you're, going in the wrong direction. And then what you're going to do is come up at the distance away of the length of the stitch that you want it to be. So I want my stitch to be the same length as that first one. So I'm going to come up about here. And now I'm just going to thread my needle with the eye first underneath both of those threads from that first stitch. And then go back down. And this time you can go back down in the same hole. Okay? Then come up. And then go in. You can start this stitch with a single tacking stitch at the top and then just loop into it. And if I had done it that way, then I wouldn't have gotten mixed up. But I really like to start with a detached chain because I find it's more secure when you make this first chain onto it. Whenever I start with just a tacking stitch, I find that the tacking stitch gets pulled a little bit. So that's why I like to start with a detached chain. But if you want, you can also just start with that single tacking stitch. And maybe you could even do 2 tacking stitches on top of each other. That might hold it a little more securely. Go under and then back in. Okay. Go under and back in. Anyone have any questions? I love this yellow. It's so nice and bright. All right. So there we have it. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys, you have to, I see that, I'm not sure how you say your username, but Skook's Playground, you guys, you have to check out her profile and see what she did with her bingo card. It is so cool. Thanks. Yes. Thanks, Marilyn. It is. It's a great way to, it's a great stitch. And it's nice to have options. I personally like the traditional chain, but if I'm ever feeling tired and I don't really feel like doing it that way, then I'll do it the reverse way. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we've done the chain on our own. This is mine, and I just filled in this area. Is there any reason to not do reverse chain and do chain instead? It's so much easier. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, as long as you're happy with how they both look, you know, whatever the one you choose, I think it just depends on what you prefer. I prefer the traditional chain method. I don't know why. It just feels more natural to me. Maybe because I don't know. I don't know why. I just do. I think because I like to sew on top of the fabric. Ah, Bonnie is also team reverse chain. Yeah, well, I'm team regular chain. Anyone else have a preference? All right. Okay, so here's mine. Like I said, I filled this area with chain on sewing method. Yes, all right. You can be on my team. And then here, I just put a little bit of the yellow in there. So like if I had, you know, wanted to, I could go back in and fill more, but that's what I did. And here I experimented with like a little bit longer. So there we go. And then Bonnie's is here. Let's see, where's your chain, Bonnie? Why am I not seeing it? Oh, here it is down here. Oh no, that's your split. See, the split and the chain look very similar. Ah, right here, same spot as mine. And she came up with that and then followed, she kind of made like a little N there. So, yep, same spot. Yeah, so you can just do it however you want. And if you are on Instagram, I highly recommend, if you haven't yet, checking out our stories every day, because we've been posting pics of what everyone has been posting about theirs. So it's been really fun to see everybody's. And also, thank you so much to everybody who has posted pictures of theirs in our Google album. It's so cool to see the pictures showing up in there, and it's such a nice way to give everyone some shout outs and compliment people's work. It's a really nice way to continue the community feel that we're looking for. So, all right, here we go. So I am going to just do the traditional chain right here. So I cannot wait to see what you guys do with yours. It's so funny because when I was thinking about all the wonderful aspects of embroidery bingo, I don't know, it never really, like, we talked about how fun it would be to see everyone's work, but I didn't think about like how fun it would actually be. It is so fun. I just had like a perpetual smile on my face all night last night. Stayed up way too late checking out everybody's stuff. So, and thank you if you had to wait to watch us on another platform. We had a little bit of some recording issues last night. So thank you to Bonnie, who was able to. I have an Android and she has an iPhone, and for some reason the Android was limiting how much I could record. So Bonnie with her iPhone was able to record the whole day. It was a little long. So thank you, Bonnie. All right. Now I'm going to tack this down, and then I'm actually just going to sneak over here. So yesterday I was saying that I had the Encanto song in my head, and actually I have a different song in my head today. I was thinking, I think I'm just going to have to update everybody with what song I have in my head. And Bonnie is going to laugh when I say what song I have in my head, because she knows how crazy I am. I'm a big BTS fan. I don't know if anyone else is a big BTS fan, but I have permission to dance in my head. My husband is Korean, and I don't know, I've just like kind of been like I don't know, Korean stuff resonates with me, I guess, since I married a Korean. And I cook the food, I watch the dramas, and I like the music. So, probably sharing way too much about myself, but there you go. Okay. Oh, what's going on here? I did not wear my glasses today. You know what? I'm just going to leave that for now. Oh, I see. It came out. But what's so great, like I said yesterday about embroidery, is that you can so easily just take it out. If you are taking some of the chain stitch out, you just want to make sure that you don't lose your loop, which I just about did. So anyway, that's it. That's the chain. I think I'm going to stop this while I try to fix this. And you guys go have a great day, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, thanks everyone. See you tomorrow.